DHS is not screwing around anymore, and I say, let's go, baby. We saw the story the other day where Nick Shirley was at the Portland ICE facility documenting, as he does, when a violent militant leftist threatened to murder him. And then DHS lasered him. Now, I've talked to some people, and I've actually got a mixed bag. Some people have said, nah, he's not pointing a rifle at the guy. It's probably just a laser pointer. And I'm like, why would he just be holding a laser pointer? If there's counter snipers because of the terror attacks, he's likely got a gun with a laser mounted on it. I asked some guys who work this kind of business, if you know what I mean. And they said, yeah, it's probably, it's the gun, weapon's probably not like, he's not going to shoot him. We'll put it like that. But it is probably mounted and he's probably pointing it from his weapon. So sure. But the times they are a-changing. Aside from things like that, we now have information as to who that guy may be because journalists online are saying they believe they found the guy who threatened Nick Shirley. We're also learning that an Antifa militant has pled guilty to assaulting journalist Cam Higbee and sentenced to 1 month in jail. Now, they put prison. Pretty sure he's not going to prison. Prison is usually for, there's a difference between jail and prison. I don't know if this is universal, but at least that's how it was in Illinois. Jail is less than a year. Prison is a year or longer. Post-Millennial reports Antifa militant pleads guilty to assault of journalist. Seattle area prosecutors seek just 1 month prison term. Lawson has been released on his own recognizance while awaiting sentencing. I wouldn't be surprised if this guy flees. They say Jeremy Calvin Lawson, the Antifa-aligned rioter, accused of brutally assaulting journalist Cam Higbee during a violent June 14th demonstration outside Seattle's Henry M. Jackson Federal Building, has officially pleaded guilty to felony assault. On Tuesday afternoon, Lawson pleaded guilty as charged to assault in the third degree for the politically motivated attack. There he is. Despite the seriousness of the charge, including evidence that Lawson dented Higbee's helmet during the assault and later tried to purchase a firearm while under a protection order, prosecutors are recommending only a 1 month jail sentence. Additionally, Lawson has been released on his own recognizance while awaiting sentencing. That's crazy. You can get up to a month for disorderly conduct in most places. Assault like this usually is 6 months. Or I shouldn't say usually, but I'll put it this way. Assault and battery in Illinois, meaning you like slap someone or spit on them, has a max of 6 months. Denting a helmet should be close to attempted murder. Here's the original tweet where Cam Higbee says, Antifa just jumped me while SPD was refusing to intervene with the riot tonight. Militant Tyler Hahn and his lackeys jumped me, dealing several blows to my head. I was able to deploy pepper spray and repel them, regaining the belongings they knocked out of my pockets. The King County Prosecutor's Office explained in a statement to the Ari Hoffman Show that the standard sentencing range for this felony under Washington law is determined by the defendant's offender score, which takes into account prior felony convictions. Lawson's offender score was 0, as his 3 prior misdemeanor convictions do not count toward the state sentencing grid. This is insane. The feds should intervene. DHS should charge him. A score of 0 corresponds to a sentencing range of 1 to 3 months. Lawson spent 50 days in jail following his July 16th arrest and was later transferred to electronic home detention on September 4th after a judge approved of his release on August 25th. Prosecutors agreed to recommend a 1 month sentence in exchange for Lawson's guilty plea, though the final decision rests with the sentencing judge. His hearing is scheduled for 1 p.m. October 17th. Prosecutors also requested that Lawson remain on electric home monitoring until sentencing, citing the seriousness of the assault and the fact that Lawson attempted to purchase a firearm less than a week after being served with a protection order filed by Higbee. However, the judge granted Lawson's defense motion for release on personal recognizance, conditions including no contact with Higbee, no new criminal law violations, in order to ban and attending any political demonstrations before sentencing. These people are LARPers. It is live action role play for them. Now check this out. This video is from the other day. It's getting a lot of attention, going massively viral. Nick Shirley says, Antifa member in Portland tried to chase me out of their rally, threatening to smoke me. That means to kill. That means to shoot and kill. And DHS snipers on the roof hit him with that nice little fafo. The snipers put lasers on his chest. Now, Katie Davis Court said, here's better photos of the suspect I took outside the ICE facility on July 11th. I am confident it is him. Do your thing, internet. Now, I don't know that this guy is him. This is just what they're saying online. Here's a guy who's appearing in public on camera. This person posted this photo of this man with a hood and a mask on. Katie Davis Court says, it's him. Nick Shirley says 100, 100. Andy No says that's him. He's one of the violent Antifa militants. Now, currently, DHS is saying we ain't going to screw around. Savannah Hernandez says, I'm currently outside the federal ICE facility in Portland, where Antifa members are starting to get arrested tonight. As soon as the feds come out, they run screaming. Many of them have started crying, watching their comrades get arrested. Check out this video.
You ripped it out of my hands. You ripped my hands out. You ripped my hands.
Zombies. They just throw fireworks at him? Let's try that again. Yep. So I just like to point out, these people are not peaceably assembling as it goes. And I don't know why we tolerate this. I believe that there should be a tolerance for a certain degree of protest that break the boundaries, and that is civil disobedience. So if you're upset with ICE, how do you push back against sworn law enforcement officers who were dispatched by the duly elected president and his Department of Justice? This is how democracy is supposed to work. Just because the law is passed doesn't mean it's just. You have a right to protest these things. That is, if you want to peacefully protest, you gather outside, you hold up signs, and you say, we're not okay with this. You file lawsuits and seek a redress of grievances, all of which were allowed. The boundary, in my opinion, would be, I think it is perfectly acceptable if these people were to link arms, chain themselves together, and sit down in front of the ICE facility, blocking vehicles from leaving. Indeed. Many of you are going to say, Tim, no way. That's not no. You get arrested. They pick you up. They say, we're going to remove and arrest you. It's a minor inconvenience, but we tolerate this threshold because it's nonviolent. And it gives people a means by which they can take a certain action against a system they view as unjust, having their voices heard, generating attention for the issue. Nobody gets hurt. They're quickly removed. The whole thing can last 20 to 30 minutes. It's an inconvenience. If we shut down all forms of nonviolent civil disobedience, then people begin to resort to violence. So you need that pressure release valve that can allow a person to take action that keeps things civil. That's why we say nonviolent civil disobedience. Sitting down in the road, they pick you up. I see these videos where people like glue their hands to the street. They come out, they cut out the ground, carry them away. I say just leave them. I just leave them. You want to engage in that, just leave them there. Seriously, what's going to happen? Honestly, they have to go to the bathroom. They can't. They rely on our goodwill to exploit this system. So for these people that glue their hands to the street to protest whatever, I don't even know what they're protesting, just leave them there. Detour the highway and say, you can't get off at this exit, or put cones around them and say, go around. There's going to be traffic. That's fine. And then we'll see how long, you can't negotiate with terrorists, right? These people know if they do this, the cops are going to come out in a half an hour. They're going to cut them from the ground, damage the road, send them on their way. I say, don't do it. I say, don't do it. Then these people will be like, nah, don't glue your hand to the street, because they'll just leave you there and then you can't go to the bathroom. They tell these people not to eat and to go to the bathroom beforehand because you're going to be there for a long time. Yeah, we shouldn't play that game. As for these people outside the buildings where they're like, I didn't do anything wrong. Bro, there is a line, okay? I think it's important that when police make arrests, you arrest perpetrators. Simply being present is not enough. Maybe you can make what you can say is the gathering of these individuals has now become unlawful because they are engaged in violence. We are requesting everybody leave. You are being trespassed. We will now remove you. There you go. This is now an unlawful assembly. Blocking the roads can become unlawful. If all these people do is stand in the street, then I think the feds should just walk up and move them. That's it. If these people are in any way violent, which they tend to be, then the federal law enforcement should respond with commensurate force, in which case you'll get arrests, you'll get pepper balls, or whatever needs to happen. I do not understand why we are supposed to tolerate people violently attacking cops. We've already had terror attacks. The threshold is 0. You want to stand out in front of these buildings screaming? Okay, well, people did that in Texas and then shot at ICE law enforcement. That's not peaceful. You want to protest? You're allowed to protest. You obstruct, you're crossing the line. That's it. Lock them up. We'll see how this one plays out. Smash the like button, share the show. Stay tuned. More to come throughout the day. We're back tonight at 8 p.m. for Timcast IRL. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you on the next segment.